Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Lund. This is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, coming to you from the back of my truck. Went up an old logging road, so I got vantage point working left to right. I have, in human terms, a teenage clear cut. I have a toddler clear cut, so it's just starting to grow back. It's really good vegetation, looking for bear and for deer. Then I got some muskeg lowlands, and then directly in front of me, a kind of high muskeg. It's about 3/4 of the drive up here, so you kind of zigzag up through some clear cuts and some cedar and spruce, and this is it's a pretty nice spot. It's one of those spots it'd be great to see a bear there or deer, but you don't always find deer there. It'd be a great place to shoot a deer or a bear, but it might not be a great place to see one, if that makes any sense, you know? It's where the hunter would prefer to see something, but a bear or an animal, a woodland creature, might not want to be there. So, one of those things. Got a bag of chips, got some peppered jerky, and some coffee. Got my Vortex 1042 HD razors. Just kind of glassing. I'm looking around. Haven't seen anything yet, but it's good morning. Beautiful day, overcast, kind of chilly. But I was listening to a podcast on the way up here, and I had to switch off it and go to a different one. There's a profound difference between when people are on podcasts and they're talking about their outdoor experiences, and from those stories you get to glean information, or it just sounds like some buddies that are standing around a campfire just BSing, just dudes telling stories, and it's fun. And in those stories they discuss what they did right, what they did wrong, or did they think about this, and if 2 or 3 of the people who were there, they discuss what they should have done. And so there's lessons learned, and you can glean a lot of accidental information off that too. And they're informative. So it's not just about the story. Some other dudes that are on podcasts, or women, doesn't matter, it seems like it's just a podcast for them, or they're telling the story it's like it's a privilege. There's a subtle difference in the tone of the speaker, but it seems sometimes like people are so caught up in themselves and what they've done that their arrogance kind of just permeates the story. And it's as though, hey, you get to listen to me and what I have done. Not, hey, here's a story, man, it's going to be fun, just going to tell it, we're talking about it, laugh, and have some good times. And the other people talk about just themselves and what they have. You're lucky to be able to listen to the story. And it's just hard to listen to those things. I don't know if it's on purpose or what, but I just find it hard. Some people love listening to those podcasts, and it's great. There's an audience for that. You just listen to amazing people do amazing things, but there's just that subtle difference in the person who does amazing things, and there's something you can glean from it. There's that takeaway. There's that something that can inspire you to do something. And it's in a lesson that they learn. It's in a mindset that they have. It's not just, look at me and how great I am. Because then I just think you learn arrogance from that. And this cocky person that you never want to go on an adventure with. You also start to wonder how some of these people are able to do the things they are. And I know a lot of hunters use as an excuse that it's difficult to get tags, or it's too expensive, or this and that. And so if you really want to, save the money and go up and do these epic things, then you can do it. There's a lot of services now. Like, rather than just calling Forest Service or calling Fish and Game, you can go online, you can buy the services of people who help you get your tags and help you with do it yourself, which is interesting if you're paying someone to help you do it yourself. So hunters unnecessarily complain at times about not being able to do epic things because they don't have their own show, when a lot of people who just or ordinary, just go out and just do it. And their story is kind of lost, and their grind is just kind of lost because they don't have the outlet for it. And those people are fun to listen to. And other people are just financially blessed or just somehow able to do it. And you wonder, well, what do these people really have a job? I mean, what do they do? How are they able to just do all this stuff? And not just with hunting, but also with just adventuring in general. They just travel all around the world. Well, you only live once. Yeah, we can't all just spend all that money to just go travel around the world and just do all these amazing things. I was watching one of those house buying sell shows, and this couple was on, and they were talking about reverse retirement and how you want to have all the fun now while you're young and then work later. I thought, well, that sounds nice in theory, but how are you able to shop for this home in Costa Rica that's going to be your little getaway? Like, who can afford that at 25, 26 years old? Right? It sounds nice, the reverse retirement, have fun when you're young, but a lot of people have to work. A lot of people have to earn money before they could just go shopping for homes in Costa Rica. So I turned that off. It's not realistic. It's not the way a lot of people live. But so I know I don't want to sound like a jerk talking about people telling amazing stories, but there's a subtle tone in how people are. I think it goes along with your hunting buddies and the people that you adventure with and fish with. And you can be totally different people, but you have just a similar way of going about things, and you like to be around them, and you trust them in the hunting and fishing situations. And a lot of times people don't. It doesn't mean you get along with them all the time. It just means that you can coexist a field, and some people you just would not want to hunt with at all, or hike with at all, or so when you hear stories, but then I could be totally just judging these people. They may be amazing people, but there's just something about the way they present certain stories that you're listening to that seems inauthentic or unnecessarily cocky. So I turned that one podcast off, and it wasn't, usually I listen to this podcast quite a bit because they have a lot of great insight. Just the person they had on just seemed to have this aura about them that was, you get to listen to me, and just I will have a captive audience for a while, and I will just smile and I'll tell this story, and I can't wait for you to ask these questions about how amazing it is that I have done what I have done and how amazing I am. I just can't stomach that. There's a lot of honest people out there who are telling great stories that you're going to get takeaways from, and you're going to get some insight, and you're going to get a good story. Ideas. Right? I like listening to ideas. People who talk about hunting ideas and life ideas, and not just straight stories. There's insight. There's hypotheticals. There's questions about ethics, and there's questions about conduct, and there's questions about why, and understanding the why, and asking the why, and those sort of things to wrestle with. It's fun to get more information added to your database. The more information you have, the more people. Sometimes people articulate things just perfectly, and it was something that you kind of struggled with, and you thought that, man, there's just this thing, and I can't really describe it. And someone just puts exact words to it, and you think, dude, yes, exactly. That is what would have taken me. Just me throwing words at it, paragraphs and paragraphs of words to try to explain that. You've got it pared down to 2 or 3 sentences, and that's great. I like to hear that. It's, I guess, confirmation bias on a certain regard, but also some of these, one of the main questions you have to answer as a person is, what's your purpose? Why are you here? And why do you like what you do? Why you put together the way you are? And not to question it, but just to better understand it.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plans shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
And you're not worried about inconsequential things. You can accept that you can be an individual and you have to buy into other stuff. I was talking with my girlfriend the other day, and when I was in California, I was about 3 years into my teaching career, and I had some friends that were talking to me, and they were saying that it was time for me to buy a house, and you should buy this one here. It's a nice little guy, in the housing market's a great place to earn money, and then you live there and you get some roots. It was all about getting roots, and I wasn't so sure that where I lived in California is where I wanted to be forever. I liked it there; the people there were great, but just a ton of money I spent driving around California, getting outside and fishing and hunting or actually I wasn't hunting at the time, but just fishing and getting outside, because you grow up in Alaska, that's a part of you. So I wasn't convinced that I wanted those roots, but there was kind of the pressure to give into and fit the stereotype, and how your home and your lawn are a metaphor for how put together your life is. And so if you're in your mid-20s and you started a career and you don't have a home and you don't have, a wife, and you don't have 1.5 kids and a dog named Spot, if you don't have that, your stereotypical American dream type thing, that somehow you're behind, or that you're flawed, or that you're doing things wrong. So I almost bought a little condo as like a starting thing. It was kind of near the freeway, and I was like, well, I guess that's where I have to start, and then I'll move up, and then I'll sell this, and I'll make some money, and then I'll get another house. But I backed out of the process early, and then about a year and a half later is when the housing market just absolutely crashed. So I'm glad that I wasn't in there. But it was kind of an important moment, because it was, do I save the extra money? Because I know my rent was a little bit less than the mortgage would have been, but then you got homeowners dues, and you have everything else that goes into it. So it's not just, there's pros and cons. Anyway, it was either me go down that path of what was maybe expected of me, or what I thought was maybe expected of me. And a lot of expectations are just what we perceive people are expecting of us, rather than what they actually are projecting on us. So I didn't buy the house or that condo. I was happy, continued to rent. I'm still here in Alaska. I'm still renting as I'm trying to figure stuff out and doing that. But just being comfortable with, it's not a metaphor all the times. You can't look for symbolism everywhere. As an English teacher, that might be symbolic, yeah, but is it really? Does everything have a double meaning? Not necessarily. Ooh, there's a deer right there. There's a deer walking right out in front. Just a little guy. I don't see any bumps. It's hard to tell with the ears up. There's some people that have posted some pictures of some really small nubs starting to come out, so those things will probably be pretty big when they end up fully developing. But so symbolism, it's not everywhere, and so just because I don't have a house, that doesn't mean that I'm not put together, that I'm not an adult, that I'm not. It's fine, It's just that same nonsense that we buy into a lot of times, and what's expected of us, and so that we project attributes we wish we had, or project a lifestyle we wish we had, and and it's fine. It is fine. You get teased by it sometimes, of course, but usually I got a married friend who always makes fun, talks trash whenever he can. And he's admitted a couple times it's because he's jealous of the freedom that I have to be able to go out and do what I want on my own schedule. Whereas he's got wife and kids, and he doesn't regret it at all. But there's some, you miss a little bit of that freedom. So there you go. There you go. There goes that deer. I think that's what makes the conversation never old, because there's not an end to it. There's not okay, I've figured it out. There is no secret to life. There is no getting to a point where you've figured things out and you're just good to go and you get to coast. You always constantly have to be moving. Otherwise you get stagnant, right? You're like again in English, dynamic characters continue to change and grow. Static characters stay the same, and we make fun of it. It's the peaked in high school Rob Lowe, we see people who peaked at that grade, the people who don't want to get older, and people who don't live and grow. And one of the most influential people in my life is a guy that even in his 60s is saying, I'm still figuring out how to be a man, because being a man when you're 25, 30, 35, it just totally changes depending on your context. Like, how can I best exist in this context? And how can I live a fulfilling life in this context? It's not living off old memories or you did amazing things and you just sit back and relax. But that was a bear. Rocks look like bears, but bears don't look like rocks. When you see a bear, you stinking know it's a bear. When you see a rock that's not moving, it kind of looks like a bear. But if a bear were to move next to that rock, you'd think, what am I looking at? How did I think that was a bear? What is wrong with me? So, there it is. There it is. We're going to continue to glass here. And here's some thoughts. Call that, I think it's episode 90. Got 10 more until the big 100. So make sure you check out the mediocrealaskan.com. Got content there. Got an archive of some stuff that most of the stuff that I've written for my column for Juneau Empire. Stuff I've written for Capital City Weekly, and more currently the Juneau Empire. I've been for the Juneau Empire, writing for the Juneau Empire for the last year or so, almost. And then Caffeine and Kilos, I write for them, and then links to other stuff that I've written. So you can check all that out there, and I think that'll do it. So I'm gonna get into the chips now. They've been staring at me while I've been talking, so here we go. Chips time and more glassing time. We'll talk to you next time.